Hi guys, Ravenazar here again for another Commander deck tech for my EDH Commander Boxing League. Today we're going to be going over Omnath, Locus of Creation. He's a red, green, white, and a blue to play elemental 4/4. Says that whenever he enters the battlefield, you get to draw a card. And he's got Landfall, which says whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, you gain 4 life if this is the first time this ability is resolved this turn. If it's the second time, add a red, green, white, and blue. Nice. And if it's the third time, Omnath deals 4 damage to each opponent and each planeswalker you don't control. Omnath's pretty good. Going to be going over the cards that I got with Zendikar Rising. And then after that, I'll be moving forward. So let's see what we did here to make Omnath pretty good. Running Canyon Jerboa. There's 2 colors and a white mouse. He's 1/2 with Landfall. Says that whenever land enters the battlefield under your control, creatures you control get +1/+1 until end of turn. It's pretty good. Like that guy. More Landfall. Let's see, we got Spitfire Lagak for 3 colors and a red lizard 3/4. Landfall, whenever land enters battlefield under your control, Spitfire Lagak deals 1 damage to each opponent. That's pretty good. Running Yasharon, the Impeccable Earth, for 2 colors, green and a white, elemental boar 4/4. When he enters the battlefield, search your library for a basic forest card and a basic plains card. Reveal those cards, put them into your hand, and shuffle your library. Players can't pay life or sacrifice non-land permanents to cast spells or activate abilities. Pretty good. Also running Ashia, Soul of the Wild, for 3 colors and double green elemental with double stars. His power and toughness are each equal to the number of lands you control. And non-token creatures you control are forest lands, in addition to their other types, and they're still affected by summoning sickness. This guy's good. You can get explosive. Also running the Ancient Green Warden for 4 colors and double green elemental, 5/7 with reach. You may play lands from your graveyard. If a land entering the battlefield causes a triggered ability of a permanent you control to trigger, that ability triggers an additional time. That's pretty good, like this. Also running Morag, Fury of Akum, 4 colors, double red. Minotaur Warrior, 6/6. Each creature you control gets +1/+0 for each time it has attacked this turn. Also has Landfall. Whenever land enters the battlefield under your control, if it's your main phase, there's an additional combat phase after this phase. At the beginning of that combat, untap all creatures you control. This guy's really good in this deck. Love him. Also running Phylath, World Sculptor for 4 colorless and a red and a green elemental, 5/5. When he enters the battlefield, create a 0/1 green plant creature token for each basic land you control. He also has a landfall trigger. Whenever land enters the battlefield under your control, put 4 +1/+1 counters on target plant you control. This guy's good. Running Disenchant, colorless and a white instant. Destroy target artifact or enchantment. Very nice. Also running Nahiri's Binding, 1 colorless and double white enchantment aura to play. Enchant creature or planeswalker, enchanted permanent can't attack or block, and its activated abilities can't be activated. Pretty good. Also running Felidar Retreat for 3 colorless and a white enchantment. It's got landfall trigger. Whenever land enters the battlefield under your control, choose 1 can either create a 2/2 white cat beast creature token, or I can put a +1/+1 counter at each creature I control. Those creatures gain vigilance until end of turn. This is pretty good. Love this card. Got some lands here. Running Crawling Barrens. I can tap it for colorless, or I can pay for, put 2 +1/+1 counters on Crawling Barrens. Then you may have it become a 0/0 elemental creature till end of turn, and it's still land. Nice. Running Amara's Call. This is a double face card. So backside's land. It's activate this sorcery is 4 colorless and 3 white to play. Create 2 4/4 white angel warrior creature tokens with flying. Non-angel creatures you control gain indestructible until end of turn. Pretty good. And if you flip this guy on the other side, comes Amara Shattered Skyclave. Enters the battlefield. You may pay 3 life. If you don't, it enters the battlefield tapped, and you can tap for white. Pretty good. Running a few of these double face cards now. So, Call in the Ambush for 2 colorless and a green instant. Target creature you control fights target creature you don't control. Or if I need to. Be a colonize territory. Enters battlefield tapped. Tap it for green. Pretty good. Makindi Stampede for 3 colors and double white sorcery. Creatures you control get +2/+2 until end of turn. Or Makindi Mesa. Enters battlefield tapped. I can tap for white. Also got this Riverglide Pathway. Tap it for blue. Very beautiful card. You see that? Very pretty. Or if I need to instead, Lava Glade Pathway. I can tap it for red. Very pretty. Got this Slundi Vision for 2 colors and a blue instant. The top 6 cards of your library may reveal an instant or sorcery card from among them and put it into your hand. The rest of the bottom of your library in a random order. Or you can be a Slundi Isle. Enters battlefield tapped, but I can tap it for blue. Last but not least, I got Umra Wizard for 4 colors and a blue. Merfolk Wizard 4/3. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery or a wizard spell, Omara Wizard gains flying until end of turn. Or you can use it for Mara Skyfalls. I'll enter the battlefield tapped, but I can tap it for blue. Very good. So these are the cards that I got from the Zendikar Rising set. Let's put you over here, huh? Nice. Let's keep going. So what I'll do now is I'll kind of just go over what I've got from other sets that I've pulled from my league. So let's take a look here. We got a Neverwinter Dryad for green. Dryad 1/1. Pay 2 colors to sacrifice the Neverwinter Dryad. Search your library for a basic forest card, put it on the battlefield tapped, and shuffle. Very good. Soul's Attendant. I love this card. 1 white, human cleric, 1/1. Whenever another creature enters the battlefield, you may gain 1 life. It's pretty good playing commander, so on average you got like 3 other opponents, so I mean there's 4 of you playing. You got creatures coming out of the wazoo everywhere, so you should be gaining a lot of life. We got Gretchen, what is that, Titchwillow. This is a green and blue halfling druid 0/4. Her activated ability is where it's at. Pay 2 colorless and a green and blue, you get to draw a card. You may put a land from your hand onto the battlefield. Pretty good. I like that. Oh yeah. Of course. Azusa Lost but Seeking for 2 colors and a green human monk. 1/2. You may play 2 additional lands on each of your turns. That's so good. So happy that she got reprinted. Running Cosima, God of the Voyage for 2 colors and a blue. God, 2/4. It says at the beginning of your upkeep, you may exile Cosima. If you do, it gains whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control. If Cosima is exiled, you may put a voyage counter on it. If you don't, return Cosima to the battlefield with X +1/+1 counters on it and draw X cards where X is the number of voyage counters on it. This guy is going to be so good. I'm not even going to play the other side, so I'm not going to worry about it. Cosima for the win, especially in this deck. Running Fierce Empath, 2 colors and a green, elf, 1/1. It says that when Fierce Empath enters the battlefield, you may search your library for a creature card with converted mana cost 6 or greater, reveal it, put it into your hand, then shuffle your library. Very good. Running Heliod Suncrowned for 2 colors and a white, God, 5/5, indestructible. Very good. As long as your devotion to white is less than 5, Heliod isn't a creature. Whenever you gain life, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature or enchantment you control. You may pay 1 and a white. If you do, another target creature gains life link until end of turn. This is so good in this deck. Also running Rada, Heart of Keld for colorless, red and a green, elf, warrior, 3/3. As long as your turn, Rada, Heart of the Keld has first strike. You may look at the top card of your library anytime, and you may play lands from the top of your library. That's very good. You may also pay 4 and red and a green. And Rada gets +X/+X until end of turn, where X is the number of lands you control. This is so good in this deck. Also running Euro, Titan of Nature's Wrath for a colorless, green and a blue, Elder Giant, 6/6. When Euro enters the battlefield, sacrifice it unless it escaped. Whenever he enters the battlefield or attacks, you gain 3 life and draw a card. Then you may put a land card from your hand onto the battlefield. Escape. You can pay double green, double blue to escape, and exile 5 other cards from your graveyard. You may cast this card from your graveyard for its escape cost, and that gets around the escape. Very good. Also running Mangara the Diplomat in this deck for 3 colors and a white human cleric, 2/4. He's got lifelink. Whenever an opponent attacks with creatures, if 2 or more of those creatures are attacking you and or planeswalkers you control, draw a card. Whenever an opponent casts their second spell each turn, draw a card. Very good. Also running Placrinos World Eater in this deck. He's 2 colors, double green, Hydra, 5/5. It's got Monstrosity X for XX and a green. If this creature isn't monstrous, put an X +1/+1 counters on it and it becomes monstrous. When Placrinos World Eater becomes monstrous, it deals X damage divided as you choose among any number of target creatures your opponents control. Each of those creatures deals damage equal to its power to Placrinos. Very good. Also running Sereth, Viper's Fang for 2 colors, double green, human, warlock, 3/4. Other tapped creatures you control have Death Touch. Other untapped creatures you control have Hexproof. Pay a colorless and tap Sereth to untap target creature or land you control. Very good. Also running Thassa, Deep Dwelling for 3 colorless and a blue. God, 6/5, indestructible. As long as your devotion to blue is less than 5, Thassa isn't a creature. At the beginning of your end step, exile up to one other target creature. Oh, sorry, it doesn't say other. It just says one. Yeah, it does say other. Hello. One other target creature you control. And return that card to the battlefield under your control. I threw her in here to help me with some ETB triggers, especially with Omnath. If he's on the field, he's always a target, because when he enters the battlefield, I get to draw a card. I can also pay 3 and a blue to tap another target creature. Pretty good. Running Imarith, Desert Doom for 3 colors and double blue. Dragon, 5/5 with flying. He's got Ward 4 as long as it's untapped. And whenever Imarith deals combat damage to a player, draw a card. If you have fewer than 3 cards in hand, draw cards equal to the difference. Pretty good. He'll make sure that I always have options in my hand. Also running Karametra, God of Harvest for 3 colorless and a green and a white. God, 6/7, indestructible. As long as your devotion to green and white is less than 7, Karametra isn't a creature. Whenever you cast a creature spell, you may search your library for a forest or plains card, put it on the battlefield tapped, then shuffle your library. Pretty good. Also running Kuranos, God of Storms for 3 colorless, blue and a red. God, 6/5, indestructible. As long as your devotion to blue and red is less than 7, he isn't a creature. Reveal the first card you draw on each of your turns. Whenever you reveal a land card this way, draw a card. Whenever you reveal a non-land card this way, Kuranos deals 3 damage to target creature or player. Pretty good. Also running Maja, Bretigard Protector for 2 colorless, green and double white. Human Warrior, 2/3. Other creatures you control get +1/+1. Whenever land enters the battlefield under your control, create a 1/1 white Human Warrior creature token. Very good. Also running Morty of the Frost. 2 colorless, green and double blue. Shapeshifter, 0/0 with Changeling. This card is every creature type. You may have Morty of the Frost enter the battlefield as a copy of a permanent you control, except it's legendary and snow in addition to its other types. And if it's a creature, it enters with 2 additional +1/+1 counters on it and has Changeling. Pretty good. Like this card. Running Nisium Boar in this deck for 3 colorless and double green. Boar, 10/6. All creatures able to block Nisium Boar do so. Whenever Nisium Boar becomes blocked by a creature, that creature's controller draws a card. So, I mean, pretty even payoff if you're going to use this guy to end an opponent. It'll give them some draw options, and maybe they'll pull something to not die. Otherwise, the plan is to have this guy help me in ending somebody. Running Quakebringer for 3 colors, double red, giant berserker for 5/4. Your opponents can't gain life. At the beginning of your upkeep, Quakebringer deals 2 damage to each opponent. This ability triggers only if Quakebringer's on the battlefield or Quakebringer's in your graveyard and you control a giant. It's got Foretell for 2 colors and double red. So this guy's pretty good. Running Xenagos, God of Revels for 3 colorless and a red and a green. God, 6/5, indestructible. As long as your devotion to red and green is less than 7, he isn't a creature. At the beginning of combat on your turn, another target creature you control gains haste and gets +X/+X until end of turn, where X is that creature's power. Really good. Love this guy. He is so good. I've said it before, I'll say it again. Everbrook Caretaker is so good. If you're running green, you need to run this card. She's 4 colorless and double green to play. Human Werewolf 4/4. She has hexproof. At the beginning of combat on your turn, put 2 +1/+1 counters on another target creature you control. She's got Daybound. So, if you're able to make it into night, she'll become the Hollowhenge Huntsmaster. Werewolf 6/6, still's got that hexproof. Other permanents you control have hexproof. Ooh, that's so good. At the beginning of combat on your turn, put 2 +1/+1 counters on each creature you control. Nightbound. So good. So strong. Love this card. Madomai the Ageless. 4 colors. White and a blue. Sphinx 4/4 with flying. Whenever Madomai the Ageless deals combat damage to a player, take an extra turn after this one. Madomai can't attack during extra turns, so he can get you an extra turn. If they don't do anything to him, geez, so good. Running the Beanstalk Giant. It's got 6 colors and a green to play. Giant Star says power and toughness are each equal to the number of lands you control. You can play the adventure if you like. It's a sorcery, Fertile Footsteps, which I will most likely, for 2 colorless and a green. Search your library for a basic land card and put it on the battlefield, then shuffle your library. Very nice. Love that. Running the Hullbreaker Horror for 5 colorless and double blue. Kraken Horror 7/8 with flash. This spell can't be countered. Whenever you cast a spell, choose up to 1. Return target spell you don't control to its owner's hand. Return target non-land permanent to its owner's hand. This guy's gross. Oh man. Running Coma Cosmo Serpent for 3 colorless. Double green, double blue, Serpent 6/6. This spell can't be countered. At the beginning of each upkeep, create a 3/3 blue serpent creature token named Coma's Coil. Sacrifice another serpent, choose 1. Tap target permanent. Its activated abilities can't be activated this turn. Or Coma Cosmo Serpent gains indestructible turn. Yep. Running Old Gnawbone for 5 colors, double green, dragon 7/7, flying. Whenever a creature you control deals combat damage to a player, create that many treasure tokens. I love that. Nice. Those are my creatures. Let's go. Yep. Running a lot of creatures. Okay, so not running so many instants and sorceries, so I'm putting them both together. Let's go. Return to nature for 8 colors and a green instant. Choose 1. Destroy target artifact, destroy target enchantment, or exile target card from a graveyard. Very good. Running Cultivate for 2 colors and a green sorcery. Search your library for up to 2 basic land cards. Reveal those cards. Put 1 on the battlefield, tap, then 1 in your hand, then shuffle your library. Very good. Running Path to the Festival for 2 colors and a green sorcery. Search your library for a basic land card. Put that card on the battlefield, tap, then shuffle. There are 3 or more basic land types among land cards you control. You get to scry 1. Also has flashback for 4 colors and a green. Very good. Running Raven Form for 2 colors and a blue sorcery. Exile target artifact or creature. Its controller creates a 1/1 blue bird creature token flying. It's got Foretell for 1 blue. Very good. Running Shatter the Sky for 2 colors and double white. Sorcery. Each player who controls a creature with power 4 or greater gets to draw a card. Then destroy all creatures. Very good. And running Reoccurring Insight for 4 colorless and double blue. Sorcery. Draw cards equal to the number of cards in target opponent's hand. Rebound. If you cast this spell from your hand, exile it as it resolves. At the beginning of your next upkeep, you may cast a creature card from exile without, you may cast this card from exile without paying its mana cost. Very good. So that's it, other than what I've already shown you guys. I know I was looking at it myself and I was like, what? I know I got more, and I did have more. I just showed you those already, so, you know. Only running a few artifacts here. So we've got Giant's Amulet for a blue. It's equipment. Whenever it enters battlefield, you may pay 3 in a blue. If you do, create a 4/4 blue wizard, giant wizard creature token. And attach Giant's Amulet to it. Equipped creature has +0/+1 and this creature has hexproof as long as it's untapped. Pretty good. Equips for 2. Also running Mirror Shield in this deck for 2 colors. It's equipment. Equipped creature gets +0/+2 and has hexproof. And whenever a creature with Death Touch blocks or becomes blocked by this creature, destroy that creature. Equips for 2. And running Chromatic Orrery because I got 4 colors in this deck, so why not? It's a 7 colorless legendary artifact. You may spend mana as though it were mana of any color. Nice. It taps for 5 colorless mana. Or you could pay 5 colorless and tap this guy. Then you get to draw a card for each color among permanents you control. That's pretty good. That's it. I do have a few enchantments here, so that'll be good. Let's take a look. Running Bind the Monster, 1 blue, Aura, enchant creature. Bind the monster, enters the battlefield, tap enchanted creature. It deals damage to you equal to its power. I'm going to be healing, so I don't care. Enchanted creature doesn't untap during its controller's untap step, so you get to neuter somebody like that. Candle Trap for 1 white. It's an aura. Enchant creature. Enchanted creature has defender. Prevent all combat damage that would be dealt by enchanted creature. It's got Coven where you can activate it for 2 colorless and a white and sacrifice Candle Trap. Exile enchanted creature. Activate only if you control 3 or more creatures with different powers. Essentially, if you really want to, you can get rid of whatever it is you're enchanting if you need to do that. Otherwise, you just basically neuter maybe their commander or something. I don't know. Running Cleric class for 1 white. It's a enchantment class. If you would gain life, you gain that much life +1 instead. Also have level 2 where you can pay 3 in a white. Whenever you gain life, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control. Level 3 says you can pay 4 in a white. And then when you do, when this class becomes level 3, return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. You gain life equal to its toughness. Very good. Running Arnie Slays the Troll for a red and a green. Enchantment Saga. First stage says target creature you control fights up to 1 target creature you don't control. Second stage says add red. Put 2 +1/+1 counters on up to 1 target creature you do control. And number 3 says you gain life equal to the greatest power among creatures you control. Nice. Running Druid class for 1 colorless and a green. Enchantment class. Whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, you get to gain life. Level 2 says you pay 2 to activate and a green. You may play an additional land on each of your turns. Definitely doing that. Level 3 says you pay 4 and a green to activate, and then when you do, when this class becomes level 3, target land you control becomes a creature with haste, and this creature's power and toughness are each equal to the number of lands you control. It's still a land. Pretty good. Love that. Running Frogify for 1 colorless and a blue. Enchantment Aura. Enchant creature. Enchanted creature loses all abilities and is a blue frog creature with base power and toughness 1/1. I love this. And to go with that, I got Canon's Transformation for 1 colorless and a green. Enchantment Aura. Enchant creature. When Canon's Transformation enters the battlefield, draw a card. Enchanted creature loses all abilities and is a green elk creature with base power and toughness 3/3. Nice. I love that too. Running Ordeal of Nylea for a colorless and a green. Enchantment Aura. Enchanted creature. Whenever enchanted creature attacks, put a +1/+1 counter on it. Then if it has 3 or more +1/+1 counters on it, sacrifice Ordeal of Nylea. When you sacrifice Ordeal of Nylea, search your library for up to 2 basic land cards, put them on the battlefield tapped, then shuffle your library. Pretty good. Borrowed Time for 2 colors and a blue. Blue, hello, wake up. 2 colors and a white. Enchantment. When Borrowed Time enters the battlefield, exile target non-land permanent an opponent controls until Borrowed Time leaves the battlefield. Like this, I get to target whatever I want. Wow. Non-land. Bound in Gold for 2 colors and a white aura. Enchant permanent, again. Enchanted permanent can't attack, block, or accrue vehicles. Its activated abilities can't be activated unless they're mana abilities. Pretty good. Love this. Minimus Containment for 2 colors and a white. Enchantment Aura. Enchant non-land permanent. Here we go again. Enchanted permanent is a treasure artifact with tap, sacrifice this artifact, add 1 mana of any color, and loses all other abilities. Running Omen of the Hunt for 2 colorless and a green. Enchantment with Flash. Whenever Omen of the Hunt enters the battlefield, you may search your library for a basic land card, put it on the battlefield tap, then shuffle your library. It's got 2 colorless and a green. Activated ability where you can sacrifice Omen of the Hunt to scry 2. Also running Primal Epiphany for a colorless and a green and a blue. It's an enchantment at the beginning of your upkeep. Draw a card if you control a creature with the greatest power among creatures on the battlefield. Otherwise, put a +1/+1 counter on a creature you control. No matter what, you get value from that card. Last enchantment I'm running is Glorious Sunrise for 3 colors and double green enchantment. At the beginning of combat on your turn, choose 1. Creatures you control get +1/+1 and gain trample to end of turn. That's pretty good. Target land gains tap, add 3 green till end of turn. That's pretty good. Draw a card if you control a creature with power 3 or greater. Love that. Or you can gain 3 life. We love all this stuff. Very good. Those are my enchantments. I am running 1 Planeswalker here. We're running Ren 7 in this deck. 3 colors, double green to play. Planeswalker, Ren. Starts out with 5 loyalty counters. You can +1 him to reveal the top 4 cards of your library. Put all land cards reveal this way into your hand, the rest of them into your graveyard. You can 0 him to put any number of land cards from your hand on the battlefield tap. You can -3 him to create a green tree folk creature token with reach, and this creature's power and toughness are each equal to the number of lands you control. Or you can -8 him if you can get there. Turn all permanent cards from your graveyard to your hand. You get an emblem with you have no maximum hand size. Very good. Since we're doing a landfall deck, I got a good amount of lands here. Let's go ahead and get started. Show you what I got here. Alpine Meadow. Tap it for red or white. Enters battlefield tapped. Pretty good. Running an Arctic Tree Line. Taps for either green or white. Enters battlefield tapped. Bark Channel Pathway. I can tap it for green, or if I need blue, I can run the Tide Channel Pathway for blue. Running Blossoming Sands. Enters battlefield tapped. When it enters battlefield, I get to gain a life. Tap it for a green or white. Found this guy. Running Bonder's Enclave. I can tap it for colorless, or I can pay 3, tap it, and draw a card. Activate this ability only when you would control a creature with power 4 or greater. It's pretty good. Also running Glacial Floodplain. I can tap it for white or blue. Enters battlefield tapped. Highland Forest. Tap it for red or green. Enters battlefield tapped. Found this Radiant Fountain. When it enters battlefield, I get to gain 2 life and it taps for colorless. Rimewood Falls. Taps for green or blue. Enters tapped. Rugged Highlands. Enters battlefield tapped. When it enters, I get to gain a life. Tap it for red or green. Shimmer Drift File. Enters tapped, but when it enters, I get to choose a color, and I can add 1 mana of the chosen color. It's pretty good. Swiftwater Cliffs. Enters tapped. I get to gain life when it enters. Tap for blue or red. Running Temple of Enlightenment. Enters battlefield tapped. When it does enter the battlefield, it gets to scry 1. Tap for a white or blue. Running Temple of Mystery. Enters battlefield tapped. When it enters battlefield, I can scry 1. Tap it for green or blue. Tranquil Cove. Enters battlefield tapped. When it enters battlefield, you get to gain 1 life. I can tap it for white or blue. You've probably seen this before. Running Tyrite Sanctum. Tap for colorless. Or you can pay 2 and tap it. Target legendary creature becomes a god in addition to its other types. And I get to put a +1/+1 counter on it. Pay 4, tap and sacrifice Tyrite Sanctum to put an indestructible counter on target god. Pretty good. Last but not least, running a Volatile Fjord. Tap it for a blue or red, and there's battlefield tapped. Any other lands that I'm not showing you right now would just be basics. So this is going to be my Omnath Locus of Creation deck for my boxing league. You guys let me know how I did. Like, share, and subscribe if you enjoy this content. Comment in the comment section. Love to hear your guys' take on the deck and how you enjoyed the video. Thank you guys very much for watching. Really appreciate it. You all have a good one. Take care.